There were some great people who I definitely still miss in L.A. You know, D'Agostino. You know, I miss Steve Simone. I miss who I spoke to the other night, Fucknut. You know, with
Eric,
the Beast. What's that? The podcast, Sickler.
oh, okay,
You
Ryan
know,
Sickler. Yeah.
Rudy. There was some exceptional fucking people. Josh Potter. I know
Yep.
you miss little Josh. I see him on Instagram doing his thing.
He's
You
doing
know,
great now.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, I feel like fucking the dude from Goodfellas when I see Josh Potter. Look at Josh Potter doing up the town. You know what I'm saying? He's out there. He's on the road. He's opening for somebody on the road. These are all guys that I knew when they were fucking kids. Like I knew you when you were kids. So
I know.
I miss Felipe. I miss George Perez. I miss Rodrigo, Johnny Rock.
Look at Darren Carter. He's at the Comedy Store a lot now.
Darren Carter. Look, he sat tight. They wouldn't give him love. Now it opened up. Now he's at the store 4 nights a week.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen in this career. And that's why you hang on with comedy. Because, yeah, you had a bad day today, but tomorrow you can hit the lottery. The reason why you got into comedy was to hit the fucking lottery. So you don't know. You just have to stick it out. You have to be there when nobody else shows up. I don't care how listen, I could be really ashamed right now. You know, I could tell you that my acting career didn't start till The Sopranos came on TV. I made a career out of doubling down on Big Pussy's back. I could say all those things, and somebody could say that to me. But I know better than that.
Yeah.
I know that, yes, I doubled down on Big Pussy's career, but you still got to act to book those roles. You still got to be able to be funny to book those roles. You still have to audition well to book those roles. Just because you look like somebody doesn't mean you have a guaranteed role. You still have to do the work. I would still sit with these auditions and, you know, go over them for 3 fucking hours with a fine-tooth comb just to get these roles. So
Right. And do they expect you to turn it down? Like, like, I'm going to get roles just by myself with nothing. No, like, no, they're looking for that kind of person. You fit the description. You did the work. I'm glad you don't think that way. That would be, I mean, that's getting in your own way.
But it's an honest way to look at it. I've looked at it other ways like that, and yes. But because I'm honest with myself. I have to fucking honestly look at the mirror and go, how did I get to this place? Well, The Sopranos piggybacked me through Big Pussy, blah, 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 blah. But then I just took over. You know, I got the longest yard because I didn't look like Big Pussy. They weren't looking for Big Pussy for Spider-Man 2.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that, like, Mad TV launched my career, you know, Analyze That launched my career. I was supposed to look like Pussy, and that all helped, and I took it, you know. Listen, there's no small jobs. There's just small actors. You know, that's a great way of looking at it, you know. And I put the work in. I could look at the mirror and go, you know what? I put the fucking work in. You know, me and Mike and I were talking about music. How when you start in a band, you got to do cover songs. And then you try to fit in your fucking original music in between that, but people don't want to hear that because you're not Jimmy Page. Now, if you're Jimmy Page and you show up to, but that's wrong also, because I still remember 93, 94, Eric Clapton did a tour. And the motherfucker did blues, and people were running out of the arena, throwing their tickets up in the air. They were mad because he didn't do Layla, or he didn't do fucking, I Shot the Sheriff. So when you go for change sometimes, people don't like it, but you got to stick to your fucking guns, and then they'll like it.
No, one of the smartest things that you taught me, because I talked to a lot of people about their podcasts, is you can look at trends and you can look at what people like and work to that, but you can't ask them what they want or do only what they want, because they'll get bored with it. And you got to do what you want, and hopefully the people who are supposed to find it will find it, and you'll be happy. There's no point in doing something if you're just pandering and you don't even like what you're doing.
No, but I see now, from not being in LA as a comic, I see other comics doing the podcast and them saying what you want to hear. I could see it now that I'm out of it. I could see that now. I could see, I just see a lot of things that, listen, I am who I am. And I'm rough and tumble, and I'm going to say whatever comes to my mind. You learned that over the fucking 10 years. That
Oh, yeah, you're not shy.
Listen, they're going to be mad. One thing about you that I always loved was, like, tell these fucking people. I love when they say, hey, make sure you put this guy on the podcast. That's the last guy I'm putting on the fucking podcast. When you guys give me a recommendation at home, like, put this guy on the podcast, that's the last motherfucker I'm putting on.
Yeah. No,
you know, unless I think of it myself, I'm not putting this motherfucker on. When you guys send me weird messages, you ever get a weird message sent back to you from me? Like that you can't understand it? That's all done purposely. That's all done purposely. Like you'll call me and say, are you going to be in Phoenix Thursday through Sunday? Can I do a guest spot? I'll say there was a fire at my house and my cat got killed. I'll call you next week. You know, and you're like, what the fuck? I just asked him about a spot and he told me about his dead cat. That's what I've been doing for years. Yeah. I will not put a guest on the show because you want me to put a guest on the show. I will not talk about something because you want me to talk about it. Like every Monday morning after a fight, people go, can you please talk about this situation? You know, if I find it fit to talk about it, I'll talk about it. But if I know Rogan's going to do it better, why would I even try?
Exactly.
Rogan's got that fight down to a science. If you think I'm going to come on here and try to go hand to hand with Rogan on his knowledge of fighting and boxing and shit, I'm not going to do it. I might give you my take on it just, you know, from what I'm thinking that we should discuss it, like I did with Conor McGregor and with John Jones last week, which I got to pull my John Jones podcast back because, Jesus Christ, I didn't know what he had done.
Yeah.
I had no fucking idea what he had done. I just thought that John, I love John. I fucking love John Jones. I love when he talks to me. I like being around him. He's a fun guy. He's filled with energy. But I think this guy, this time he hit it on the head when he said he has to stop drinking because of the trauma his brain got. I think that's real. Remember when we had Big John McCarthy on the podcast?
Right. Oh, yeah, of course.
And he told us that he thinks that OJ killed his wife, but he didn't fucking remember. Like, he couldn't even because of the CTE. Like, you know, CTE's a motherfucker. And when you throw cocaine and alcohol on CTE, that's like giving an Indian gin. You know, you're just looking for fucking problems there. So I got to recant my little John Jones podcast from last week because I love John, but I think what he did last week was a little out of bounds for John. I think that
they released the 911 tape and I couldn't listen to it.
Was it bad?
I couldn't. I didn't. I don't want.
I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to listen to it. I feel bad for John. And I wish that he gets it together because once it comes into your house, that's when it's bad. That's when the next one's going to be bad. Once it comes into your house. When you're doing shit and it's out in the street, it's one fucking thing. But once it comes into your house, your 3 kids witnessed it, your 2 kids, whatever, then it gets real. So I wish him all the luck in the world from Uncle Joey's joint and the fucking church. You know what I'm saying, cocksucker?